Going overseas now, the Taliban is releasing an American Navy veteran in a prisoner swap personally approved by President Biden.
Mark Frerichs was working as a civilian contractor in Kabul when he was taken hostage 2.5 years ago. NBC News Pentagon correspondent Courtney Kube joins us now with the details on this prisoner swap. Courtney, talk to us more about this deal. Frerichs was exchanged for Bashir Noorzai. Who is that, and why does the Taliban want him back in Afghanistan?
So Bashir Noorzai was convicted about 17 years ago on drug charges here in the United States. He's been held since then. But the name Noorzai is well known throughout Afghanistan. He is from a very well-connected, very wealthy family in Afghanistan. And the negotiations for this exchange have gone on for months. The U.S. was in an effort, ever since the U.S. completely withdrew from Afghanistan last August, there has been this ongoing effort to do something to get Mr. Frerichs released from Taliban and Haqqani custody. Through that, they came to realize that the Taliban specifically wanted Bashir Noorzai back. And more specifically, his family was really pressuring the Taliban to get him back. They negotiated over the last several months, and they were able to negotiate this swap. As part of this, according to a number of administration officials who we've been talking to for over weeks now, as this deal has been in the works, have said that they did an assessment and realized that releasing Noorzai back to Afghanistan would not present a big security concern or would not have an appreciable change or difference on the drug situation there. So that was when they came to realize that this would be an appropriate trade. We don't know a whole lot about Mr. Frerichs now, other than the fact he's made his way to Doha. He's said to be in pretty good shape. He was able to walk on his own for at least part of this effort here to get him out of the Taliban custody. But we're waiting to hear a little bit more to see if we can get a sense of exactly where he's been and who he's been held by for these last 2.5, nearly 3 years now.
And Courtney, we only have a few seconds left here, but I do want to get a sense of the U.S.'s government relationship with the Taliban overall, because it seems like it's pretty fraught, especially after the Taliban hosted and sheltered the long-sought leader of al-Qaeda. So what does this sort of prisoner swap at this point say about our relationship with Afghanistan and the Taliban?
So we know that Qatar has been helping to work through any kind of negotiations or mediation between the U.S. and the Taliban. But after that strike on Zawahiri back in more than a month ago now, nearly 2 months ago, there was a lot of concern that the Taliban would be angry and they would take out their anger on Mr. Frerichs. And the U.S. sent a very clear message at that time to the Taliban and said, look, if you take this out, if any harm comes to him because of the strike that the U.S. took against this al-Qaeda leader, you will be held accountable for it. There's also been this very clear message. Again, this is something that we've actually been monitoring for several months here, this potential exchange. And throughout that time, administration officials assured us that the U.S. kept telling the Taliban, whether it was through mediators or in direct negotiations, that the release of Mr. Frerichs was something that would be a precursor. It would be it was something that the Taliban would have to do in order for there ever to be any kind of real relations between the U.S. and the Taliban. That being said, those diplomatic relations still do not exist at this point.
All right, NBC News Pentagon correspondent Courtney Kube. Courtney, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.